In this problem, we want to find the resultant force of these three forces added together. So what we're going to do is we're going to write each force in Cartesian form. Okay, and we'll start with the 300 and work our way around, kind of counterclockwise there. So F1 we'll call the 300. It's all in the x direction, so very easily we just say 300I. None of it is in the j direction. Looking at F2, which we're going to call that 400, I notice that the x component is adjacent to that 30, so it's going to be 400 cosine 30 in the I direction. Again, this is to the right and up, so these are both going to be positive. So I'll have plus 400 sine of 30, because again, the opposite is that vertical component that I've got there. Lastly, I've got the 250, okay, which is on a 3, 4, 5 triangle. Okay, the x component is equivalent to the 4, right? That's the horizontal, the 4. So it's going to be 4/5 times the 250 in the I direction. But of course, that's to the left, so it's going to be negative. The vertical is up, so we'll go plus. So it's negative in the x, positive in the y. And then the vertical component is basically equivalent to the 3. So I have 3/5 times 250 in the j. So those are those components written in Cartesian form. At this point, we're going to add up our x's, add up our y's, and find my resultant force. So in doing that, to find my resultant force, I just take 300 plus the 400 cosine 30. Well, maybe I just write this down. We'll do it this way. So I say 300 plus 400 cosine 30 minus 4/5 times 250, and I get that x component equal to 446 in the I direction. In the j direction, or the y direction, I get 0, because that initial one does not have any component in the j direction, plus 400 sine of 30, which will be 200, plus 3/5 times 250, which I believe is 150. Adding those together, I get 350. So my resultant force is more or less kind of in this direction, like so. Okay, so to determine what it is that I'm actually finding here, this will be my angle that I'm looking for. My magnitude, FR, is Pythagorean theorem, square root of the sum of the squares. So it's going to be 446 squared plus 350 squared. Okay, adding those together, I get 567 newtons. And then the angle will be to find that angle, I will do an inverse tangent of the opposite over the adjacent. Now, the opposite is going to be the vertical y component here, so it's going to be 350. The adjacent will be of the theta will be the x component, which will be the 446. So that angle then becomes 38.1 degrees. So to write this in Cartesian form, to write this in vector form, magnitude and degree, I say, okay, it's 567 newtons at an angle given like that of 38.1 degrees. So again, write each vector in Cartesian form, add up the x's, add up the y's to find your resultant force.